So it's the final night of the trip. It's been almost bang on 6 weeks. So flew into Charles de Gaulle obviously and headed down to Muscadet. Spent the weekend on the coast and made our way back through the Loire and ended up in Chablis before heading down to Burgundy, where we've based ourselves the last 5 weeks. And then we did day trips out, so Beaujolais and Jura. I suppose the difference between this trip and any other trip has been the duration. 2 weeks isolation when I get home, so and much more expensive airfares. So the idea was come across for an extended period, usually come across for 10 to 14 days. And 10 days is enough for the wheels to not fall off. 14, you get back and you can sort of feel it. So to sort of counteract that, I just made sure that I did more work. So I kept the appointments between 1 and 4 a day, where usually you just have 4 every day. And the other thing is, because I was staying at Ross and Bev's house, I was able to cook. So I'd go home, do some emails, do a little bit of work, cook some food, a couple of glasses of wine, then after dinner I'd sit down and punch out a bit of work. Usually, if I'm staying in a hotel, you're out for lunch and you're out for dinner. So very, very little time in between. You make some friends in between, and if you're lucky, if you haven't met a couple of really good people at the restaurant, you head home and you can get a couple of emails done. If you have met a few people, then chances are that you're there until sort of 10, 11, 12 o'clock, discussing wine and who's making the best wine and whatnot. In terms of a difference in terms of being here, it was incredibly quiet compared to usual. So usually Beaune is hustling and bustling, and there's quite an exciting sort of energy with wine lovers and wine trade from all around the world coming here to pursue and visit all the great producers. And if you go out to a restaurant, every restaurant's full and there's a real energy. And if you buy a nice bottle of wine, you share it with the table next to you, and all of a sudden you know everyone in the restaurant. This time there was a little bit of that, but it was more so with producers and locals that I'd met, which is actually really quite exciting. So would head out and get chatting to someone, and a lot of these guys haven't seen an Australian since February, March, except for the exception, local couple of winemakers who are Australians, a couple of expats. I met one gentleman that was actually stuck across here, Australian, based in the UK, had an apartment here, came across here, got stuck, and he was here for 8 months. Just got home the other week, so I think Andrew was looking forward to that. Visiting the producers, it was great because they were very, very, very appreciative to see trade. They're no doubt worried. The top producers, will always sell their wine. They all, the top 3 tiers of Burgundian producers will always sell their wine. The difference is, instead of their traditional route to market, so a lot of them say, 40% is within France, and the top producers only usually sell to restaurants. They've had to pivot and sell to carvists or cellars and bottle shops and the like. So they're still selling their wines. They haven't dropped their prices or anything like that. They're just choosing alternate routes. That being said, there has been a few opportunities where some incredibly good producers had wine for the first time in a long time for a new market like Australia. In particular, Cocard Le Sang Fleureux, CLF, in Flagey-Essezot, one of the hottest domains. I know myself and a lot of other importers have tried. I got in touch 3 times, including getting Candice in the office to call up. She's a Parisian national associate, or French national, a Parisian, and she called up and, the same answer that I got. No, too busy, not enough wine to sell. And I was tasting at Michel Nilon and Michel Couteau, the son-in-law who runs it. We're tasting away, and Lucy, his daughter, and Lucy speaks English and Michelle doesn't, so this is a translation. But I saw on the corner of the eye a Coquerel de Saint Fleureau CLF cork, and I sort of thought, oh, you know, bingo, here we go. Michelle, do you know these guys? And you know, of course he did. He hunts with them, and so he said, yeah, no problem. I'll organise it. And sure enough, Thomas, just an incredibly friendly guy, you know, and he goes, yeah, we don't work in Australia. We'd love to. So it's that little difference. It's the introduction. Like all the producers were so happy to see someone that they would go that little extra leg. I mean, Michelle Nealon, you know, our own producers that we already represent, already do so much, particularly, you know, Chris Santini and the likes. But this time I visited a lot of producers, very, very, very wide, you know, even ones that are already brought into Australia, because A, it's a great time to benchmark other sort of great domains against ours, and B, I just had more time. And one thing I noticed is that they were very supportive. They were racking their brains about who they could introduce me to and that sort of thing. And I won't give the full list of producers that we've picked up this video, but it's pretty bloody exciting. So, you know, after a sort of a long, expensive trip away from home, leading up to the busy period, it's a really satisfying feeling to have developed a connection with the existing producers, but also new producers, and know that, you know, the next 12 months there's going to be some pretty exciting introductions to the Australian market. I've just been birding around, getting some videos of Meursault and Puligny Montrachet having a glass of Aligoté before heading to Santini in Osso-Duresse, where we'll probably have a bottle of wine or two. I've got a 1985 Chevrolet Chambertin in the car, just a Bouchard, but should be good, should be solid. Found some great old wine as well, which we'll get in. Currently at Chevalier Montrachet, in front of me, behind you, and Montrachet behind me. Now, I'm going to make like a tree and leaf and go enjoy a glass of wine with Chris, and hopefully I get on the plane tomorrow. Until then, I will see you all in Australia very soon, and thank you very much.